Call the Senate to order. Sergeant Arms will please secure the chamber doors. Members, please take your seats. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. President.
All right, Senators, we are very pleased today to have Reverend Tawanda King of Union United Methodist Church in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, guest of the distinguished senator from the 23rd District. Please rise for the invocation.
Let us pray. God of grace and God of glory, on your people pour your power. Divine Creator, I thank you on behalf of your people. Thank you for your presence in this place. Thank you for your blessings, seen and unseen. Thank you for allowing us to be in partnership with you and what you are doing. Thank you for loving us with an unmeasurable love, a love that we have yet to fully understand. God of power and might, wisdom and justice, since you know us by name, we lay before you this assembled council. The names of those in leadership over the Maryland Senate, individually and collectively. God, these are your people that we, the people, have entrusted upon the care and concerns, the todays and tomorrows, the hopes and aspirations of our beloved state. We affirm, Holy One, in the earth what you consecrated and said would be in the heavens. We pray they will thirst after justice and righteousness. We pray that justice roll on like a river and righteousness like a never-ending stream. We pray for a hunger to meet the needs of your people. Give them the capacity today, as John Wesley said, do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. Grant upon them eyes to see you, ears to hear you, hearts to feel you, and minds to understand you. We pray for every piece of legislation presented before this council on this day. We pray you give them your wisdom, counsel, and peace around and in the decisions they make in this place today. God of grace and God of glory, on your people pour your power. Amen.
Thank you. Wonderful. Chair recognizes the senator from the 23rd District.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Reverend Tawanda King. Reverend King is a native colleagues of Baltimore, Maryland. She's an itinerant elder in the United Methodist denomination, serving Union United Methodist Church in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. She serves on the Baltimore-Washington Conference Clergy Care Intensive, is chair for the Black Clergy Women of the Baltimore-Washington Conference, chaplain for the National Black Clergy Women, and treasurer for the Wesley Foundation. In addition, Reverend King has a love for self-care and finances. She has been an ICF-trained coach since 2013, coach facilitator for the Mid-Atlantic United Methodist Foundation and strengthening the Black Church. Reverend King is a graduate of the Morgan State University and Lancaster Theological Seminary. She holds a Bachelor's of Science in Accounting and a Master's of Divinity degree. Reverend King completed clinical pastoral education at York County Hospital in Pennsylvania. She's a student at Messiah University pursuing a degree in clinical mental health counseling. In addition, Reverend King is a proud Zeta Phi Beta Incorporated member. Reverend King is the author of the book Breathe, and I have my copy. We can get you a copy if you like. A Pastor's Journey to Wholeness, available on Amazon. She is the proud wife of Reverend Eric W. King, a retired pastor in the Baltimore-Washington Conference, and has her daughter, Ashata, her grandkids, Ashlyn, Grace, Trinity, and Alexander. Mr. President, I ask that the pastor's comments be journalized.
Certainly, we will journalize the pastor's wonderful remarks. Appreciate her work. Thank you. Any further, has everyone recorded their presence in the chamber? Let's see, has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 44 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland is now in session. We've got two resolutions today. Let's start with the senator from District 11. Nope, 12. 12, excuse me, I'm sorry. Had a little brain fog there this morning. Excellent. Senator may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. This Saturday, February 10th, Asian Americans across Maryland will celebrate the 2024 Lunar New Year, the Year of the Dragon. The Lunar New Year, sometimes known as the Spring Festival, is a time-honored cultural event celebrated around the world in many diverse cultures, particularly in East Asia. This marks the beginning of the lunar calendar and is a time of renewal, unity, hope, and a successful year ahead. According to the census, there are over 400,000 Marylanders residing in Maryland and across our districts. This accounts for more than 5% of the state's population. The AAPI population is incredibly diverse, spanning more than 20 nations in East and Southeast Asia. The Lunar New Year is important for the Asian American community because it's a visible opportunity to share an important cultural event with all Marylanders, with celebratory activities taking place at malls, schools, businesses, libraries, restaurants, community associations, and other public gatherings across the state. We hope that you will take a moment to join them in celebrating this important occasion, marking the Lunar New Year, whether it's here in the Senate or back in your districts. 2024 marks the Year of the Dragon, one of 12 zodiac signs in the lunar calendar, and the dragon is considered the most auspicious sign. A fun fact for all of us, the Year of the Dragon consistently sees the highest births of each of the 12 years of the lunar calendar. Traditionally, dragon has represented courage, tenacity, and intelligence. It also symbolizes power, nobility, honor, luck, and success, all qualities that can be attributed to our diverse and growing Asian American population here in the state of Maryland. Please join me in welcoming representatives from a variety of local AAPI organizations, including the Governor's Commission on Asian Pacific American Affairs, and thanking them for their hard work and service to the state of Maryland. Thank you so much.
The clerk will read the resolution in full.
Be it hereby known to all that the Senate of Maryland offers its sincerest congratulations to the Commission on Asian Pacific American Affairs in recognition of Lunar New Year and your service to the Asian American community in Maryland. The entire membership extends its best wishes on this memorable occasion and directs this resolution be presented on this 8th day of February 2024.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President?
All right. Has everyone recorded their vote? If so, the clerk will take the call. To the members of the Commission on Asian Pacific American Affairs, we say congratulations and happy celebration of the Lunar New Year. Thank you for your service to the state of Maryland. Thank you all for, All right. Thank you all so much for being here with us. Thank you. I think I was born in the year of the pig, if I remember correctly. Yes. Good to see you all. Thank you. I think that's accurate. 83. So we got to check it. Yes. All right. Next, we have one more resolution. Let's see. We have Senator from Prince George's. Our Majority Whip has a resolution.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. President and colleagues. It really pleases me to stand to cite this wonderful citation for a group of women in Prince George's County and all around the country, all over the world, who do such wonderful things for people. These are tireless servants. They reach down and they lift up. They really epitomizes the philosophy that we should never leave a child behind, which is the reason why I have such deep respect for the Delta Sigma Theta Society Incorporated. They provide food, clothes, they go into schools, they mentor children. The list of what they do, particularly in Prince George's County, is just absolutely amazing. They are excellent role models for our young women who are in need of someone that they can talk to. They provide all kinds of social services for children and young women. They are really, really a wonderful, wonderful example of what we all should be doing, and that is to look down, reach down, and lift up. This sorority is absolutely outstanding. I cannot tell you how many wonderful women are a part of this group, but I want to read this citation for, actually, it's not a citation, it is a resolution. I could go on and on talking about the work that the women of Delta Sigma Theta Society Incorporated does. I could go on talking about it, but it just pleases me to stand this morning to offer this resolution for women who come from all walks of life, who are about the business of being unselfish and focused on helping to make this a better world for our young women and our children. And I want them to know that I am deeply and profoundly appreciative of every single thing that you have done. Senate of Maryland resolution.
Senator, do we mind if we have the clerk read it and you join for the picture up here?
I'm sorry.
If the clerk reads the resolution and we'll have you join for the picture as you present it?
Please.
Excellent. Well, the clerk will read the resolution in full. And Senator, if you want to...
Well, no, wait a minute now.
Did
Just
you-
a minute.
The clerk's going to read it. Come on, we're going to go take a picture.
So we want to be able to vote on it.
The clerk's going to read it.
Senator, if you would like to read the resolution, I think we can waive the clerk's reading and have you read it for us.
Resolution. Be it hereby known to all that the Senate of Maryland offers its sincerest congratulations to Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Maryland chapters, in recognition of 111 years of unwavering and exemplary support as a public service organization that provides scholarships to Maryland's students and promotes legislation, advocacy, and social action. The entire membership extends its best wishes on this memorial occasion and directs this resolution be presented on this 8th day of February 2024. Signed by the wonderful President of the Senate and the beautiful Senator Joanne C. Benson.
The clerk better watch out. She's got some real competition here. Madam Clerk, if we could please call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? If so, the clerk will take the call. To the wonderful, wonderful women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, we are so grateful for your work in the state of Maryland, and we have it looks like a number of Deltas in their red up in the gallery above. We are so thankful for you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, we have some people join. We have some folks who want to join. Do a quick picture here. All right, last call. Wonderful. Thank you all so much for being here. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you. All right. Excellent. As we are adjusting, just a quick reminder. Oh, I'll do it at the end. I'll do this at the end. We have a senator from the 45th District has an introduction.
Yes, Mr. President. If we could take the moment just to thank the staff and volunteers of United Way of Central Maryland. They're here today advocating for services and protections for working Maryland families, including breaking down barriers to child care. Thank you, Mr. President.
Wonderful. Thank you, Senator. Thank you to United Way. Thank you for being here. Senator from the 40th, followed by Senator from Montgomery County. Did we have somebody? No? Okay, just head to the button. Senator from Montgomery County.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we have had so many opportunities to celebrate advocacy, community service, and interfaith connection, I'm thrilled to present today two of the organizations I care about most in this world. If the folks from Interfaith Works would stand. Interfaith Works is one of the most important nonprofits in Montgomery County, led by my dear friend Courtney Hall, who has been with us now for not nearly long enough, but 3 years? God, it feels like forever. Interfaith Works provides services to more than 72,000 of our neighbors in need in Montgomery County. There are over 7,000 volunteers each year, and they delivered over 2 million pounds of food
Wow.
to our hungry neighbors. It's a tremendous organization. They also started they just had another house, Lon's House, named for the wonderful Reverend Lon Dring, that opened last year. They do vocational service training, and they really try to support so many of our wonderful neighbors who need a little bit of assistance. So thrilled to have Courtney and Paula and Saman and everybody, and Terry and everybody with us today. So please welcome Interfaith Works.
Welcome, Interfaith.
Also with us today are some of my colleagues from the American Jewish Committee. I have served on the board now for 24 years, and Alan, if you guys would stand. Alan Ronkin is the Washington Regional Director and has been with us since 2013. Bruce Genderson is the President of the Washington Regional Chapter, and Denver Supinger is the Associate Director for Outreach, and has not just Maryland, DC, and Virginia, but she also has West Virginia and North Carolina, so she keeps busy. They are with us today, and we have several meetings set up on hate, anti-Semitism, bias, graffiti, just so many different things that are afflicting our community. AJC, one of the things that it's most known for, in addition to advocacy, is its interfaith work and outreach, building relationships with people of other faiths and other ethnicities. So please join me in welcoming the leaders of the American Jewish Committee.
Welcome. Welcome. Senator did surprise me. I thought for sure it would be Rockville and Gaithersburg, but it was two different organizations. That was why. Yes. Chair Organizing Senator from Carroll.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a guest in the gallery, and I just want to tell the body a little bit about them. Robert and Anita Bullock of Westminster, Maryland are here, and they're accompanied by Mrs. Lisa Hecker, who is the wife of one of our circuit court judges, Judge Hecker. They're standing there. Anita Bullock began selling pies for $2.50 each at the Carroll County Farmers Market in 1975, trying to make ends meet for her family, which included 2 small children. She's known, the Carroll County Farmers Market is the second oldest farmers market in the state of Maryland, and Anita Bullock is known as the Cal Ripken of the market. She has only missed one day since 1975. Wow. Yeah, that's worth a round of applause. And her husband, Bob Bullock, not to be outdone, grew up behind his father's butcher shop, and he bought his first herd of Angus cattle in 1975. He established a beef stand at the market, which would eventually grow into a proper business and to his herd of 500 steer. Today, his cattle keep him active at age 87. Bob and Anita like to say that they're retired, which for farmers, as we all know, means that they're still active. They're baking. She's baking for the farmers market, and Bob serves as the unofficial greeter, which I can attest to. In his spare time, Bob cares for about 100 steer. They enjoy spending time with their children and grandchildren, and the evenings when the weather is nice, you can find them gliding around their farm in the buggy, which is the golf cart, enjoying nature and each other's company and marveling at what they call their little piece of heaven. And this is their first time ever, I'm told, ever visiting Annapolis, or at least being here in the chamber with us. So I just asked the body to give them a warm welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. Chair Organizing Senator from Western Maryland.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too have 2 very good friends in the gallery today, both John Fetcherow and Greg DeFellis, 2 gentlemen who have really been instrumental in my life in Western Maryland, and I just want to thank them publicly for their friendship. Greg is a photographer. He's standing above you, sir, but he's a photographer, and that gentleman will take a picture of anything and everything, and I really appreciate his passion for the gift the Lord has given him. So
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank
Wonderful.
you, sir.
Excellent. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Senator from the 32nd District, Anne Arundel County.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to introduce the Big I Maryland, which is here today for their legislative day, and they're in the gallery above you if they'd like to stand. The Big I is the state's oldest trade association of independent insurance agents, representing over 200 independent agencies which employ over 2,000 people in the state. Independent insurance agents and brokers present consumers with a choice of policy options from a variety of different insurance companies. These small, medium, and large businesses offer a variety of insurance products, including property, casualty, life, health, employee benefit plans, and retirement products. They are in the gallery watching us in action, and please give them a warm Senate welcome.
Welcome to the Big I. Senator from the 18th District, Montgomery County.
Thank you, Mr. President. Two guest announcements today. Joining us in the gallery above you, Mr. President, are Rhonda Braden, Marsha Lynn, and Glenda Grogan. They are friends and constituents who were here advocating on behalf in the Pension Subcommittee on behalf of Uniformed Services this morning. Please welcome them.
Welcome.
Mr. President, today is also Justice Day, so we're joined by a number of trial lawyers who advocate for access to our courts. They are here with us as well.
Welcome. Welcome for the trial judges, or excuse me, the lawyers who are joining us. I saw my district mate as I was walking in. He said half of our law school is here today, so our law school class. So we'll send hello and abstentia to the senator from the 38th Lower Shore.
Good morning, Mr. President and colleagues. We have a group of students that have come up from the Seaside Christian Academy from Ocean City. So they arrived, woke up early, arrived here, and I hope you will join me in welcoming them. They'll stand and be welcomed. So.
Welcome. Glad you had a safe drive today. Excellent. Made it across the Bay Bridge. Apparently it was a rough accident this morning on the... A bunch of people said that they were running late today. So, all right. Any further introductions? Any further introductions before we jump into the work today? If not, so be considered the reading of the journal from the prior legislative day. We still have a few more bills coming through. Let's go to calendar 37. Clerk will read the bills.
Senate Bill 1112, Senator Zucker, gaming, electronic interest, bingo, matchiness, paper tickets, machines, paper tickets, options, rules. Senate Bill 1113, Senator Hershey, commercial law, consumer protection, event ticket sales, rules.
All right, bills will be referred to the Rules Committee. I want to keep those paper tickets. Sorry, let's go to the calendar number 22, the legislative bond initiatives. Clerk will read the bond initiatives.
Number 1, Senator McCray, Durham Street Initiative, budget and taxation. Number 2, Senator McCray, Harmony Hub, budget and taxation.
Majority Leader moves so be considered the reading of the bond initiatives. They'll be referred to the Capital Budget Subcommittee. We've got a few more. This is number 23. Clerk will read the bond initiatives.
Number 1, Senator Guile, Bowie Elks Lodge, 2309, budget and taxation. Number 2,
Majority Leader
Senator
moves so be considered the reading of the bond initiatives to the Capital Budget Subcommittee. We have a report from the Committee on Executive Nominations. Clerk will read the report.
Report number 2, the Senate Executive Nominations Committee reports favorably on the attached gubernatorial appointments and recommends that the Senate of Maryland advise and consent to these appointments. Antonio Hayes, Chair.
Recognizing the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Calendar number 2, colleagues, includes members of the Board of Elections as well as the Board of Education. So take a close look at it as there are a variety of appointees from boards and commissions. This list of nominees we heard this past Monday, so just this week. The names of the nominees can be found in your floor laptop. If you look under the Under tab, you should find calendar number 2. Mr. President, I request that we consider these nominees in regular session under Rule 22A and move that we special order this report until our appropriate time tomorrow.
Excellent. All right, the senators move that we hear the names in open session and special order them to the appropriate time tomorrow. Are there any objections? Without objection, so ordered. Senators, please make sure to take a look so that if there is anyone that has to be separated out for a separate vote, please make sure to do that this evening. And give a heads up to the chairman, please. If we could do a quorum call before we do third reading calendar.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their presence? So the clerk will take the call. Madam Clerk, could we ring the bells very quickly? With 43 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. We've got 3 third reader calendars. Let's start with number 7. The clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 16, Senator Kagan, Election Law, Campaign Finance, Draft Committees, and Exploratory Committees.
All right, Senate Bill 16 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 16 having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 41, Senator Lamb, Consumer Protection, Consumer Reporting Agencies, Information and Consumer Credit Reports.
Senate Bill 41 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 43 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 41 having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 75, Senator West, Maryland Uniform Transfers to Minors Act, transfers as a custodian for the benefit of a minor, authorization of court.
Senate Bill 75 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 75 having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 80, Senator West, Estates and Trust, Appointments of Personal Representative Objects.
Senate Bill 80 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 80 having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 108, Senator Bailey, Income Tax, Subtraction, Modifications, Police, Auxiliary, and Reserve Volunteers.
Senate Bill 108 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 108 having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 114, Senator Jackson, Work Group to Study Fiscal and Operational Viability of Public-Private Partnerships for Calvert County Schools.
Senate Bill 114 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 114 having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 116, Senator West, Orphans Court Judges Restriction on Practicing Law.
Senate Bill 116 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 116 having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 164, Senator West, Estates and Trust, Interested Person, Definition.
Senate Bill 164 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 164 having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Let's go to calendar number 8. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 136, Senator Jackson, Family Law, Marriage Ceremony, Designation of Deputy Clerk.
Senate Bill 136 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 136 having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 150, Joint Audit and Evaluation Committee, State Government Office of Legislative Office, Performance Audits.
Senate Bill 150 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 150 having received a constitutional majority is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 166, Senator Bailey, Waterway Incident Notification System Wins Work Group.
Senate Bill 166 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 166, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 196, Central Galleon Soil Conservation Districts, Small Ponds, Plan Review Fees.
Senate Bill 196 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 196, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 219, Chair, Finance Committee, Senior Prescription Drug Assistance Program, Sunset Extension.
Senate Bill 219 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 219, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 222, Chair, Finance Committee, State Board of Environmental Health Specialists, Quorum Examination and Apprenticeships.
Senate Bill 222 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 222, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 229, Chair, Finance Committee, Insurance Penalties, Unauthorized Insurers, Insurance Producers, and Public Adjusters.
Senate Bill 229 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 229, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 231, Chair, Finance Committee, Insurance Protections After Loss or Damage to Property.
Senate Bill 231 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 231, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Let's go to calendar number 9. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 241, Chair, Finance Committee, State Board of Examiners, Psychologist, Sunset Extension.
Senate Bill 241 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 241, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 252, Chair, Education, Energy, and the Environment Committee, Public Safety 911 Trust Fund Alterations. This is an emergency bill.
Senate Bill 252 is on third reading for final passage. Senators, this is an emergency bill. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 252, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 253, Chair, Budget and Taxation Committee, Department of Natural Resources, Pay for Success Contracts, Procurement Exemption.
Senate Bill 253 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 253, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 274, Chair, Education, Energy, and the Environment Committee, Charter Counties Comprehensive Plans, Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing.
Mr. President.
Senate Bill 274 is on third reading. Chair recognizes the minority whip on the bill.
I'd like to ask if I could ask the floor leader if they'd yield for a question.
Will the floor leader yield for vice chair of the committee yield for a question on the bill? Senator may proceed.
Thank you, and I apologize for taking it by surprise. I saw this on the second reader, but I was curious. I've been reading it. Why? I guess broad question: is this some new requirement only for charter counties? Is this something other counties are required to do and charters have not done, or what's the reason behind this bill?
This is to make sure that all counties, all 24 of our jurisdictions, are working towards affordable housing and fair housing. It's part of the Moore Miller administration's commitment to leaving no one behind.
How is, I saw that fair housing is defined in the bill, but it's defined in another section of statute that I did not have time to look up. What is fair housing? I know affordable housing, but what is fair housing defined as?
I had this out on my desk in case there were questions, but I didn't think there'd be questions. This is, as you know, this would be added to area median income, low-income housing, workforce housing, and it's just making sure that the county's housing and urban development programs are working towards making sure there are more options. One of the realities is that Maryland is, and I think we heard this in the governor's state of the state, Maryland is the 7th most expensive state to live in.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have
Very
challenges
expensive.
providing jobs for people because they can't afford to live here.
There's no question that it is a very expensive state to live in. I feel like we've talked about this a few times on the floor, the need to try to bring down the cost of living. And housing is definitely an issue that I think we're all concerned about. I guess my concern is, as I look at the language of the bill, is this something where the state is really for the first time making this requirement? I guess I'm asking, because this is about charter counties, what are the commissioner counties required to do?
It's about inclusion. The code counties, commissioner counties are already doing this, are already covered. It's just making sure that all 24 jurisdictions are on board.
So there's a section of law where...
It was a departmental bill.
Understood. So this was a section of the law. There's a section of law where the commissioner counties are different than this section of law?
That is my understanding.
Okay,
but
no, I
because
think
this
that's what it says in the bill, but I'm just making sure.
If you'd like, Senator, I'm happy to get you more information and we can talk about it tomorrow.
Sure, Mr. President, could I ask for a special order till the appropriate time tomorrow?
That's
Senator
fine.
has moved to special order the bill. Appears no objections.
And let me apologize, I didn't do this on second reader, but I did want to get a little bit more information. Thank you.
No worries at all. Sounds good. We have plenty of time. Without objection, the bill will be special ordered to the appropriate time tomorrow. All right, clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 295, Chair, Education, Energy, and the Environment Committee, Department of Planning, Inventory Responsibilities.
Senate Bill 295 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 295, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 301, Chair, Education, Energy, and the Environment Committee, Aquaculture, Placement of Shellfish, Bags, Nets, and Structures on Submerged Aquatic Vegetation Extension.
Senate Bill 301 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will take the call. Call the roll. I'm off today.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 301, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 310, Chair, Education, Energy, and the Environment Committee, Department of Planning, State Repository, and Clearinghouse for Federal and State Financial and Technical Assistance.
Senate Bill 310 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 310, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 341, Senator McCray, Commission on African American History and Culture, Museum name change.
Senate Bill 341 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 341, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 575, Senator Quarterman, Court Personnel Protection of Personal Information, Judge Andrew F. Wilkinson, Judicial Security Act.
Senate Bill 575 is on third reading for final passage. Chair recognizes the bill sponsor on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. About a year ago, I stood back here and relayed the challenges that my family experienced, as my father, then a circuit court judge, was the recipient of multiple threats throughout his judicial career. Most notably, 3 days before Christmas, we received a package of 4 pipe bombs, 3 of which detonated. It is beyond comprehension that this type of hate can be inflicted not only in our state, but within our same local community. And on October 19th, 2023, Judge Andrew Wilkinson was murdered. He was murdered in the driveway of his own home. He was murdered for serving our state, for doing his job, and for protecting the children in a domestic case. Mr. President, this vicious attack requires immediate action. Members of the Maryland Judiciary serve not only because they obviously love our state, but they serve, for the betterment of our communities, regardless of the challenges and the risk associated with them. And it's our obligation as legislators to support them and their families. As I've said before, these threats are real. They happen to real people, and they've happened in our state. And I just want to end with the last words, I guess, that Mrs. Wilkinson spoke to the committee last week when she so courageously came down and spoke before the Judicial Proceedings Committee. And the last thing she said before she ended her testimony: help make this right by supporting this bill. By doing so, you will assure that my children and the children that Drew protected and saved that day in this domestic case, that he did not die in vain. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Any further discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 43 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 575, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. All right, Senators, heavy one to end on, but it does mean that the desk is clear. Quick scheduling update. We are not having a pro forma tomorrow. However, given the amount of work that is happening in the committees, we are likely going to do a pro forma next Friday, so that there's time in the committees to vote, do ideally voting, but if there's some hearings that need to be scheduled for next Friday. So it'll be pro forma for the floor for scheduling purposes a week out next Friday, not tomorrow. Chair recognizes the Chair of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance will meet at 1 o'clock. We have 10 bills and 63 witnesses. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Chair of Education, Energy, and the Environment.
Thank you, Mr. President. That committee will meet at 1 p.m. for 12 bill hearings, and it'll be followed immediately with a voting session.
Excellent. All right, Chair of Budget and Tax.
Thank you, Mr. President. The 3 subcommittees of Budget and Tax will meet at 1 o'clock.
All right. Chair of Judicial Proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Judicial Proceedings Committee will meet today at 1 p.m. for bill hearings. We have 14 bills, including the End-of-Life Options Act. We have well over 100 witnesses.
All right, long day. Thank you. Yes, Chair of Finance?
Thank you, Mr. President. I forgot to mention we will be voting after bill hearings today.
Voting in Finance after bill hearings. Thank you, Madam Chair. Any further standing committees, select committees, caucuses?
Capital Budget.
Capital Budget Chair.
Thank you very much, colleagues. Just to urge everyone, if you haven't already filed your legislative bond initiatives, please do that. They were due a couple days ago. I believe that you heard from the chair of the Budget and Taxation Committee that the capacity is different. This year, we're working with about $50 million, and just to put in perspective, the current legislative bond initiative requests are $148,053,000. So I would say that in order for us to get a good lay of the land, please get your legislative bond initiatives in order for them to be considered. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Almost there. We're getting there. All right. Any further business? Just a reminder, today is February 8th, which means it is the last day to RSVP for Society of Senates Past. Checks are due to the Secretary of the Senate's office. Lots of work has gone into putting it together. Hope that you can join us. The event is going to be on next Thursday, February 15th. Dinner at 6:30 over in the Senate building. Yes, Chair recognizes the senator from the 38th District.
Yes, Mr. President, colleagues and friends, tonight is the Taste of the Eastern Shore. And on the menu, you have Eastern Shore fried chicken, soft crab sandwiches, clams, oysters, and of course, Smith Island cake. It is hosted by the Tri-County Council for the Lower Eastern Shore, along with the Shore Regional Council and the Upper Shore Regional Council. We have lots of folks that are coming up to see you and visit with you and to enjoy our Taste of the Eastern Shore, 5:30 to 7:30 at the Graduate in Annapolis.
At the Graduate.
And we hope to see you.
Wonderful, wonderful. And apologies to the senator from the 35th, missed the Farm Bureau yesterday. Please, hopefully they understand that guests in town and had to do some hosting responsibilities, but I heard there was a great turnout at the Farm Bureau, so wonderful. And Eastern Shore tonight, Graduate Hotel. All right, any further business before we adjourn today? If not, let's do a quorum call.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their presence? So the clerk will take the call. With 44 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate of Maryland stand adjourned until Friday, February 9th at 10 a.m.
Without objection, so ordered. 10 a.m. Excuse me, 11 a.m. A small objection.
11 a.m.
Let's revise that motion to 11 a.m. Without objection to 11 a.m. So ordered. Have a wonderful day, everyone.